You close your eyes, the room goes quiet, and sometime in the next 60 seconds, you are going to disappear. Not gradually, not slowly. One moment you are here, aware of the ceiling above you, the weight of the blanket, the hum of the room, and then you are gone. And you have no idea what happens in between. Most people assume nothing happens, that falling asleep is just stopping. You lie down, you close your eyes, the lights go out. But that is not what is happening at all. In the 60 seconds between closing your eyes and losing consciousness, your body executes one of the most precisely coordinated biological sequences in all of human physiology. Your heart rate drops in a specific pattern. Your brain temperature falls by a measurable degree. Different regions of your brain begin powering down in a specific order, like a building switching off its lights floor by floor. And one part, the part you would least expect, stays completely on. You don't feel any of it, but it is all happening to you right now, every single night. Here's what those 60 seconds actually look like. Second 0, you close your eyes. Your brain is currently running on beta waves, the fast electrical oscillations between 15 and 30 cycles per second that power conscious thought, focus, and attention. The same waves firing right now as you read this. But the moment your eyes close and the visual input cuts off, something shifts. Within seconds, your brain begins producing alpha waves, slower rolling oscillations between 8 and 12 cycles per second, the signature frequency of calm wakefulness, the same waves that appear during meditation. Your brain is not shutting down, it is changing gear. And then, around the 10-second mark, something stranger begins. Your core body temperature starts to fall, not by much, maybe half a degree Fahrenheit in the first minute. But this is not accidental, and it is not passive, it is deliberate. Your body is actively redirecting blood flow away from your core and toward your hands and feet, releasing heat through your skin like a radiator venting pressure. Dr. Matthew Walker, neuroscientist at UC Berkeley and author of Why We Sleep, has described this temperature drop as one of the most critical triggers of the entire sleep process. Without it, the rest of the sequence cannot begin. This is why a room that is too warm makes it nearly impossible to fall asleep. Your body is trying to cool itself down, and the environment is fighting it. Your heart rate begins to slow. A resting adult heart beats somewhere between 60 and 100 times per minute while awake. In these first 10 seconds, it starts dropping toward the lower range. Your breathing follows, becoming slower, more regular, more automatic. The deliberate quality of your breath, the breath you control, starts handing itself over to the part of your brain that doesn't need you. You are still conscious, but the handoff has begun. Around the 20-second mark, something happens to your thoughts. If you have ever tried to catch yourself falling asleep, you know this moment. Your thinking becomes strange, non-linear. A sentence you were forming doesn't finish. An image appears that doesn't connect to anything you were thinking about. Someone you haven't thought about in years surfaces for no reason. A word or a sound comes from nowhere. This is not your mind wandering. This is your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for logic, sequencing, and rational thought, beginning to lose power. As the alpha waves slow further and the first theta waves begin appearing between 4 and 8 cycles per second, your brain's editor goes offline. The part of your mind that normally filters, organizes, and makes sense of your thoughts is stepping back. What you experience is raw, unfiltered neural activity, thoughts without a supervisor. Scientists call this the hypnagogic state, and the images and sounds that appear in it, the flash of a face, the sense of falling, the half-formed word that wakes you, are called hypnagogic hallucinations. They are not dreams. They are something stranger, the output of a brain that is no longer fully logical, but is not yet asleep. Most people pass through this window in seconds. Some people, particularly those who are sleep-deprived or under stress, can get stuck in it, hovering at the edge of sleep, almost there, then pulled back, then almost there again. If this has happened to you, it is because your nervous system couldn't fully release the controls. The editor kept trying to come back online. Around the 30-second mark, you cross a threshold. Technically, at this point, you are asleep. If someone walked into the room and watched your brain activity on an EEG, they would see stage 1 NREM sleep, the lightest stage of non-rapid eye movement sleep. But here is the strange part. If they woke you up right now and asked if you had been asleep, Most people say no. They say they were just resting, just thinking with their eyes closed. This is one of the most consistent findings in sleep research. People cannot accurately detect the moment they fall asleep. The transition is invisible from the inside. One moment you were here, and then you were asleep, and you didn't know it. Your eyes, under their lids, have begun making slow, rolling movements. Not the rapid darting of REM sleep, slow arcs, like something drifting on a current. Sleep researchers have studied these movements for decades without fully understanding their purpose. They appear in stage 1 and disappear as sleep deepens. They may be a vestige of the visual system, powering down, scanning a field of view that no longer exists. Your muscles have released almost completely. The tone that holds you upright during the day, the constant low-level contraction that keeps your head from drooping, your shoulders from sagging, has faded out. Your body is genuinely, physically letting go. Now, here is where it gets genuinely fascinating. Around 45 seconds in, your brain begins something that has no equivalent anywhere in your waking life. The hippocampus, the structure buried deep in your temporal lobe responsible for forming and storing memories, begins a process called memory consolidation. It starts reviewing the experiences of the day, not randomly, specifically. It selects which memories to transfer from short-term storage to long-term storage, which ones to strengthen and which ones to let fade. This process, which will continue and intensify throughout the night, is why sleep after learning improves memory by up to 40%, according to research published in the journal Nature Neuroscience in 2019. It is why pulling an all-nighter before an exam is one of the worst things you can do for recall. The information entered your brain, but the filing process never happened. It is sitting in a temporary folder that will be overwritten. The memories it chooses to keep are influenced by emotion. Experiences with strong emotional charge, fear, joy, embarrassment, longing, are flagged for stronger consolidation, which is one reason why the things you most want to forget are often the hardest to let go of. Your brain, in the act of sleeping, keeps choosing them. And this brings us to the part that surprises almost everyone. At the 60-second mark, as stage 1 NREM sleep fully settles in, nearly every region of your brain has significantly reduced its activity. The prefrontal cortex is quiet. The parietal cortex, which processes your sense of where your body is in space, is going dim. Even your thalamus, the great relay station that channels sensory information to the cortex, has started closing its gates, which is why the sounds in the room are beginning to fade for you. But your amygdala is still running. The amygdala is the brain's emotional core, the structure that processes fear, threat, connection, desire. And it is, in the words of sleep researcher Rosalind Cartwright, one of the last regions of the brain to go quiet at sleep onset. It stays online into the early stages of sleep, continuing to process emotional information, continuing to react long after the rational mind has gone dark. This is why your last thoughts before sleep are so often emotional, why the worry you were pushing aside during the day surfaces at night, why grief hits hardest in the hour before sleep, why you replay the argument, the embarrassing moment, the unanswered message, right at the edge of unconsciousness. It is not weakness, it is biology. Your rational filter has gone to sleep, your emotional center has not, and it will carry those feelings into the first dreams of the night. So this is what you think of as nothing, 60 seconds of blank time, a gap between one moment of awareness and the next. But inside that gap, your temperature fell, your heart slowed, your brain changed frequency 3 times, your memories were sorted and filed, your muscles released tension they had been holding since morning, and your emotional core held vigil, processing everything your rational mind was too busy to feel during the day. You don't fall asleep, you transform. Every single night, without remembering any of it, your body runs this sequence from beginning to end. The cooling, the slowing, the letting go, the filing, the keeping watch. A process that took millions of years to develop, running silently inside you, 60 seconds at a time. What happens next In the hours that follow is even stranger. But that starts with a different part of the brain entirely. And if you've ever woken up from a dream so vivid it felt more real than your waking life, you already know which part I mean. That's the next one. Have you ever noticed the strange thoughts right at the edge of sleep? The images, the sounds, the half sentences that don't make sense? Tell me in the comments what your hypnagogic moments are like. I read every single one.